Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to Save Station. So today we're going to be talking about Paper Mario, but before we get into that, I have a guest today, and that's Marley of Marley D on YouTube.
What's going on, everyone? I'm sorry that I sound all nasally. I'm sick.
Thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Anything for G, baby. I just keep dropping these inside jokes that no one else finds funny.
No one will know. I could get into it, like the long story of where that name came from, but I don't think it's worth it. Maybe another time. So, I wanted to talk about Paper Mario, but let me set the stage real quick, alright? So, still no NX.
October's almost here.
Yeah, so September is like almost gone, and it's really looking like October is probably now going to be the month, but who knows, ultimately.
My prediction in our last video was way off. I predicted they would announce the announcement at the end of the 3DS Direct.
Yeah.
And none of that happened.
That was bold, but I thought that was a really good idea. Like, that totally would have been so awesome.
It would have been great, but it's Nintendo, so making the decisions that don't make any sense is kind of their thing.
Yeah. So what's really interesting about October is, so like Paper Mario Color Splash, one of the Wii U's last games ever.
Yeah.
Is coming out October 7th. It's a Friday. Alright? And then later in the month in October, there's an investors meeting on the 26th. Alright, so as we talk about Paper Mario, just kind of keep those dates in mind, and we're going to get back to trying to predict maybe where the NX is going to fall. And
also, another thing, it just came out today, I think, October 10th, the entire second floor of Nintendo World in New York City is going to be closed for a private meeting.
Oh, whoa, I did not see that. Breaking news.
That just came out today. Now, the only thing is that they do that. They've done that before for events.
Yeah.
And, like, tournaments and stuff, so that might be what that's for. It might not be anything big.
Yeah.
It might just be, and, you know, they might just have investors or, like, realtors coming by to see how the store's doing or something like that. But yeah, October 10th, the second floor is going to be shut down. I think the store is going to be closed altogether.
Okay.
But they're doing something on the second floor that normal people aren't allowed to be there for.
Oh, man. I think we might be starting to maybe get there.
I hope so.
But so before we get into like the NX predictions and stuff, I want to talk about Paper Mario. It's been a series that's kind of like hung around. It's gotten a few games. I think 4 games overall. We got the first one on N64, then
Thousand Year Door,
then
Super Paper Mario.
Oh, Super Paper Mario. That's right.
On the Wii U, and then Sticker Star,
3DS.
And then didn't they do a Color Splash? And then didn't they just do a crossover with Mario RPG?
Oh, yeah, I think they did. Yeah.
So that's 6.
Okay, so that's a decent amount of games in the franchise, and honestly, I've only played the first one, the N64 one, but I had a lot of fun, and I played it probably like 5 years ago on my Wii through the eShop. They put it up there, and it was like really cheap, so I was like, yeah, I'll totally give this a shot, and I really liked it. So yeah, tell me a little bit about like what you thought of the franchise and what your experiences have been.
So my history with the franchise is very brief. I, like you, played the original one. However, I played it on the N64, and I haven't gone back to it since then.
Yeah.
I remember really, really enjoying it and liking it a lot, and then I got about 3 or 4 hours into Thousand Year Door years after it had come out, and I stopped playing it after that. I didn't quite take to it. I think for me, at that time I was really into JRPGs like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy and stuff like that. And
more action based, I would say too, right? Like
action based, but also like I'm talking like Final Fantasy 9 and stuff like that. So stuff that was a little more in depth.
Okay, yeah.
And I think, you know, Thousand Year Door, I think, is definitely in-depth, but it wasn't at the time I wanted to play cool things. So
That's totally normal.
um so I stopped playing it, and I think the other factor was when I had started Thousand Year Door, it had been out for a while. Like I said, I think that came out pretty early in the GameCube's life cycle.
Yeah.
And I started playing it. I think we were already on the Wii, or the Wii was coming. And for me, like, the game had been praised as this amazing piece of RPG, like, touchstone history. And I think I went into it with super high expectations.
Gotcha.
And so it wasn't meeting those, and that's not the game's fault. That was, like, me letting the hype kind of get to me. So I just didn't take to it, and I stopped playing, and it's really chatty. Like, there's a lot of strings of talking before you get to do stuff.
Yeah, that is very true. With my experience on the N64, I enjoyed... From what I know, Thousand Year Door is actually a really challenging game, too, later on. From what I saw from my brother play it. He tried to really get into it, and he liked it. But there were battles that were really challenging. And I think that ultimately drove him away from it. And there were parts that were kind of like... It was unclear what he had to do next and stuff, too. Sometimes. So I think that was just more like you had to really explore, get into the world and stuff like that. Which is like... totally cool. Like, if you have a lot of time, I feel like that would be really awesome. But like you said, the chattiness of it can also be a turnoff. Like, from what I remember the first game, it wasn't super chatty, but what I kind of liked about it too was like there were some like witty little like jokes and like dialogue sometimes. Like,
yeah, and it's there in Thousand Year Door too, but like the only problem is sometimes you've got to sit through a couple paragraphs that are a little exposition-y.
Yeah.
Before you can get to that.
Yeah.
I mean, stylistically, it's a beautiful game. Like, it totally still holds up.
Yeah, totally. It's got that, like... It's got that tune kind of, like, look. Like, Wind Waker, it ages fantastically. Like, that's what's so great
Wind
about
Waker will
games.
never get old to look at because of its cartoonish look.
Yeah, that's what's really great. And I think even for Breath of the Wild, it has that kind of going for it a little bit.
Yeah, it's got that painterly watercolor look.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of that. Like,
that's, I mean, another game I know, like, it's pretty divisive in the fan base, but Skyward Sword kind of has that too.
Yeah,
it's got that pastel-y look, that kind of like, you know, people have a lot of opinions on that game, but I will say it's a beautiful looking game, especially considering the hardware.
Yeah, I honestly I might make a video about Skyward Sword later on because there's a lot to unpack in that game.
Yeah.
Like, I like it because I'm a huge Zelda fan, but there are a lot of things about it that I felt like got away from the franchise in some ways. That's for another time.
Yeah.
I could go on and on. So, Paper Mario has been around for a little while, like I said, and I know Thousand Year Door was like a very beloved game. There's a lot of fans for it. So, as they kind of went on, I think people slowly were like, oh, I just want another Thousand Year Door. And then we got Sticker Star for the 3DS.
Well, and before that,
right? Well,
because wasn't Super Paper Mario not even an RPG? Wasn't it just a platformer?
I think so. Yeah.
Or it was like super heavy on the platforming parts and very like low on the RPG stuff.
I think so, and so it was like this slow decline from what people wanted. Like, it was getting away from what people wanted, and I think this kind of like feeling that they wanted it again was starting to kind of like boil up to the surface. And then we got Sticker Star for the 3DS, which I never played, but I remember the message boards. I remember the forums. People were
pissed.
There was so much hate for that game, and I don't know why exactly. Like, I think the whole sticker element wasn't all that compelling.
Oh, well, I heard it made the game way too easy.
Oh, and that is also, if that's a thing too, then from what I know, like, Paper Mario has some challenges. So if it's gonna make it easy, that kind of sucks. Oh man. So it got a lot of backlash, and I think Color Splash is the new game that's coming for the Wii U, and one of Wii U's last games. And from the videos I've seen, it looks like it's trying to go back to its roots, but not like completely. Like it's got this new twist with like the color and stuff, and trying to bring color back to the world.
Yeah.
And I think it looks really good. Like visually, the textures and whatever like lighting they have for the game, it looks really good. Like I was just watching gameplay footage. It looks fantastic.
It's a really, really good looking game. Like it looks like it could go toe to toe with some PS4 and Xbox One games. Like there's a screenshot, I think it's in a kitchen. I don't know if you've seen it with the lemons.
The lemon, yeah.
And like there's the pulp and the juice flying everywhere, and it's like, wow, that's a super high res lemon. Like it looks really good.
I know, like the Wii U can have some really good looking games, even though, you know, like a lot of people consider it to be like a gen behind Xbox One and PS4. It has good looking games, and I would even include like Skyward Sword in there. Like a lot of the like even like Mario Kart looked great.
Mario Kart looked great. Splatoon looked awesome.
Yeah, Splatoon, like
I mean, Splatoon. I would say Splatoon was more so because of the style of the characters.
Yeah.
But like, the cities and stuff the art direction was fantastic.
Art direction is so important, and Nintendo's so good about translating that into a game.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. That's what I love about Nintendo. So, another thing that happened with Color Splash, amongst all the backlash that initially happened when it was announced.
Yeah.
Recently, it briefly came up on the eShop.
I think it was up for like 30 minutes or something.
Yeah, so some lucky people were able to get their hands on that pretty early. That's kind of funny.
And reception was good.
As we get closer to the game's release, I've only heard positive things. Yeah,
and why I take those early reviews from the leaked copy seriously is because, like, I mean, I don't know sales number, but to me, like, Paper Mario was always, like, super niche. Like,
sure.
You had to be pretty deep into the Nintendo weeds to care about Paper Mario. Like, my cousins who play video games, but they're not, like, super gamers, like, they like Super Mario, but they don't care about Paper Mario. And I feel like that's, like, you're a casual gamer, they care about Super Mario, but they don't really know about Paper Mario.
Yeah.
So the only people that were playing Color Splash were the deep in the weeds Nintendo fans who loved Thousand Year Door and who were super critical of every subsequent Paper Mario game.
Yeah. And
for them to be praising the game as they are, I think holds some merit.
Sure. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think it looks really good. It's one of the Wii U's last games, so I think Nintendo realizes that, and the developers, I'm sure, are working really hard to make sure it's quality. So, a lot of speculation was coming around, like, with the NX hype and stuff. New York Comic Con's coming up, and some people are speculating, like, maybe Nintendo will try and do something in regards to that. I don't think they're going to do anything NX related for New York Comic Con. I honestly think it's going to be more, they're going to try and, like, they'll bring games like usual to the Comic Con.
Yeah.
And I think they'll really push Paper Mario there. Like, they'll have it there and stuff like that ready to go. Like, what do you think?
I mean, the last time I went to New York Comic Con, Nintendo had a booth, and at the time, they still thought there was hope for the Wii U.
Sure, yeah.
So they had it was a beautiful booth. It was really cool, and they did this awesome thing where if you played every demo, you could collect a set of trading cards, if I remember correctly.
Cool.
There was too much to see, so I didn't get to do it. But I think it's fair to say they've embraced the death of the Wii U at this point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, you know what? It makes sense if at their booth they just pimp this one game.
Sure. Because,
like I said, when I went, they still thought there was hope for the Wii U, so they were trying to get people to play all of their games.
Yeah.
You know what? Sorry. It makes sense to just go there and just really just, like, pump up your swan song and just get it out there in front of people and let them try it out. I think that would. I mean, maybe they'll bring the Breath of the Wild demo too.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, who knows? But I think putting it at New York Comic Con makes sense. Also, like, I think they've gone to New York Comic Con almost every year, if I'm remembering correctly. At least the recent years, they've never done big announcements there.
Okay.
Like, Comic Con is like Nintendo, because they go to San Diego too.
Yeah.
And it's never been about announcements. It's always just been like, oh, here's some more demos or come and play our games. It's never been like a showstopper for them.
Yeah, I feel like Nintendo always, more recently, they always like making announcements on their own terms.
Yeah.
Like Nintendo Directs. Perfect example.
Exactly.
So that's probably what we're going to get for the NX is like a big Direct. I would hope for maybe like a big press event. That would be awesome. But who knows?
Yeah. Something like the Sony event, although more exciting than that one was.
Yeah. That was
the Apple event.
Yeah. Yeah, the Sony event was very business. Very business-like.
Super awkward.
Yeah. Not exciting to watch whatsoever.
You can fit so many more watts of GPU and HDMI in this cord, and look at the texture on Spider-Man's eyes.
Perfect. That was exactly what happened, basically. So, I've had a theory bouncing around in my head a little bit with Color Splash. It comes out the 7th of October. And I want to know your opinion on this. Do you think the Paper Mario franchise has enough, like, does Nintendo respect that franchise enough to give it some breathing room away from an NX announcement? Like maybe what I'm thinking is like, so it comes out the 7th, which is a Friday.
Okay.
They could like let it go over the weekend and into the next week without any announcements for the NX, or they like and maybe announce it at the 19th or something like that, the very like next week, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, does it deserve kind of like respect and breathing room? That's what I'm wondering.
If we were talking about a mainline Mario game, like a 3D Mario, like sequel to Galaxy or a sequel to 64, if we were talking about a Zelda game, I would say yes. But we're talking about Paper Mario. We're talking about a franchise that hasn't been beloved since its second game.
Yeah.
I don't think they care all that much. I think...
But do you think that they were waiting for it to get out the door at least? You know what I'm saying? Like...
I don't think so, because I feel like Nintendo has checked out on the Wii U at this point. Like, their main focus is on NX. Like, I don't think they're waiting for Paper Mario to get out the door, because Paper Mario is not going to drive any sales. No one's going to see Color Splash and go, oh man, and like, Nintendo's not going to wring any last dollars out of like the consumer. So, like, if this was a franchise with more of a legacy, or that was more beloved, I would think they would be more inclined to wait. But I don't think, like, obviously they care about the franchise because they're putting out a new one, but I don't think they care about it that much.
Okay.
I think the announcement of the NX and getting people excited for that is more important to them than Paper Mario Color Splash selling well.
Okay.
Now that might change once reviews come out.
Yeah, sure.
Like if all the reviews come out and it's super positive, they might change their tone a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're holding out on NX for Color Splash. I think they're just doing Nintendo and waiting to reveal it when they're ready.
Okay. So you would probably say the NX is probably going to reveal before that investors meeting on the 26th, though, right?
I would hope so.
I would think so, too.
I would hope, because, like, you want to go into an investors meeting and be able to impress your investors.
Yeah, totally.
A great way to do that would be getting everyone excited for a new system and then going into that meeting going, look at all the pre-orders we've got in just 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, so I if they were smart, they would have that reveal before the investors meeting.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. So, if you had to make another prediction, all right?
Oh boy.
I know we're not exactly 100% accurate on anything, but I think it's fun to kind of like try and predict these kind of things. If you had to nail down a date, what do you think you would try and pin for the announcement and then maybe like the reveal? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so when does Color Splash come out?
So it comes out the 7th, which is a Friday.
7th. Okay, and when does that investors meeting happen?
The investors meeting is the 26th, which is Monday.
Wait.
Oh, wait, no, not a Monday.
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday. There you go.
Okay. So, So you said the 6th for...
The 7th for Color Splash.
7th for Color Splash? Okay.
Yeah.
I think we get an announcement for the reveal
Yep.
on either the 13th or the 14th.
Okay.
And I think we get an official NX reveal on the week so sometime between the 16th and the 22nd.
Okay, so like the week before the investors meeting, which I think lines up perfectly.
Yeah.
To me, like, I believe that Nintendo is kind of respecting Paper Mario a little bit more than you think. I think they want this game to do well, and they don't want to just bulldoze over it with the NX announcement. Because once that NX stuff hits, it's going to be an avalanche.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be insane. The internet's going to break. At least the gaming community side of the internet. And I think I would agree with you. I think the announcement will happen like around the 13th or the 14th. So they'll let Color Splash kind of like be out there for a little bit. And then, like you said, the week before the investors meeting, that's when the reveal will be. And then during the investors meeting, they can go over all that was revealed and all the reactions that happened when the NX was put out there and stuff like that.
Show off their pre-order numbers.
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy to me. Like, I thought September was the perfect month because that was like the 6-month period.
Yeah.
But here we are under 6 months out.
So I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Like you just said, we've passed that 6-month period.
Yeah.
Are we getting this thing in March like they said?
I really believe they are still set for March.
You think they're gonna make it?
Yes. I don't think it was wise to wait this long. I really don't. But I think they're still planning on going ahead. To me, like we've said this in the past, I think if they keep pushing it off, they're gonna really damage their brand. And this is like not a great situation. They should have probably revealed it earlier. But I think they're gonna reveal it in October. It's gonna come out in March. There was even that leak, like supposed leak of the amiibos for Breath of the Wild. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, they had it lit. They went on sale March 4th or 6th.
Yeah. 4th. And that, take that with a grain of salt. Like, that could be anything. That could be like a placeholder date or something. But
and that line, because Nintendo likes to launch games on weekends.
Sure.
At least in Europe.
Sure.
And that's on the 4th, which is a Saturday.
Okay. And plus, they're putting out the new Zelda art book, Art and Artifacts, which has Breath of the Wild art included in it on February. So I think they're really trying to go for that early 2017 thing. Like, I think that's what they're going to try and do.
You just changed my mind, because I thought they were going to push it back, but you just made a very convincing case.
I really do, man. Like, we talked about the brand damage. Like, and if you keep pushing it back, you know, Microsoft's going to be coming out with the Scorpio next holiday season. Like,
Pro's going to go on sale soon.
The Pro's out. Both the Xbox and PS4 have slim versions out there. There's
PSVR comes out soon. Yeah, there's a lot coming out.
Like, there's a lot. Like, I kind of understand them maybe avoiding this holiday season. Like, there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
But if you wait till next holiday season, it's too long. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe it wasn't the best to try and reveal it in March, but they did do that with the 3DS. I mean, that was a handheld, though.
Yeah.
But the 3DS came out in March of 2010, I think.
Yeah. Well, but it also didn't do too hot.
Right. And they had to retract it.
They had to correct that course.
And then ambassador people who adopted early got 20 or 30 new, like, free games.
Yeah.
All was forgiven when they did that. I was like, okay.
I'm still bitter you guys got Metroid Prime Fusion. Or Metroid Fusion, not Prime Fusion. That's my favorite Metroid game, and you get to play it the ideal way, on a handheld, on the go.
Yeah, I downloaded it because, like, I heard you raving about it.
I haven't played it.
I haven't played it still.
People get mad about how chatty it is, but I love that. Because, like, that was my very first Metroid game.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but it sounds real cool. And this place is super spooky. And weird parasite Samus is terrifying.
Yeah.
And I love that game so much.
You know what? I might have to play it because I don't know if I'm ever getting a Metroid game again.
You should, we should play that together.
Yeah, that would be a fun one to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh man, Metroid, please come back. Oh man, honestly, we could do a whole nother video on, like, Metroid probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all I really wanted to talk about. I think we got our predictions out there for the NX and talked about Paper Mario a lot. Is there anything else you want to briefly kind of, like, mention?
Not that I can think of. I think we, there's not much to report on.
Nintendo's silent as always.
Yeah.
So do you want to, like, just talk about your YouTube channel real quick before we go?
Sure. So you can find me on YouTube. I'm at Marley D. Haven't posted anything in a while just because, life's moving at 1,000 miles an hour right now.
That adult life, though.
That adult life, though, indeed. But like we were talking about earlier in the video, New York Comic Con is coming up, and I am gonna hopefully be attending that.
Yeah.
So I'll be sure to capture some footage and do some stuff there.
Real quick, are you gonna stop by Nintendo's booth, you think?
I am going to try to, yeah. Because
cool.
I don't think I'm going to do any panels this year just because the place is a madhouse now.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
So, I will try, and I'll try to record some stuff and bring back some impressions. Yeah. But I talk about Pokemon, I talk about movies. I just posted a little channel update thing, so you can check that out too, kind of a vlogish type thing. But yeah, check me out there. I talk about all sorts of geeky stuff and whatnot. Carson is on an episode of my Pokemon show, Trainer Talk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come check me out. I'm Marley D. Drop a comment, subscribe, and all that.
All right, thanks for sharing, Marley. So, thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. I am going to link his channel down in my description, so if you want to check it out, please do. As he said, lots of Pokemon stuff. He's going to New York Comic Con. That's pretty exciting. So, until next time, everybody, I'll see you at your next save.